this thing alive and in its natural habitat is valuable to us.
And welcome to the Wolfie Show, the Schnitzel Show. Tonight's guest is Wolf himself. Wolf, how are you tonight?
Relax your muscles. Take a deep breath. Relax. Yeah.
Was that it?
I think that's it. Thank you so much. That was the outro, actually. So good to talk to you, man. Like, actually, that's what I'm going to do. Like, I'm going to keep them like 15 seconds, usually podcasts, and that's it, you know. Like,
yeah. And then chop it down in the edit. Sweet.
Yeah, some people do really long podcasts, you know. What do you think is acceptable for a podcast?
I mean, mine's are very long. Because I just enjoy doing them so much, and the product is kind of almost secondary to the act, and that's fine.
I totally get it. And
yeah.
the good thing about your podcast is at least you started to split them up because, you know, like some people want to hear you rambling and some other people would like to hear the interviewee eat.
Yeah, which I don't understand the other people. Yeah. No, it's I've decided to cut it down just because an hour is a long time for somebody's time, isn't it? They sort of give up 1 hour. I do it from time to time. I definitely do it, but yes, a lot to give up.
What would you give up your time for an hour, like in your life? Where would you spend more than an hour? On what?
So sometimes there's nothing more beautiful than getting to the crag the way you might have done when you're younger becomes harder when you're older. But, just being at the crag, you're just aware of the luxury of wasting time. I'm going to spend an entire day. Most of it's going to be lying in the dirt. And it's just so beautiful. It's just that's just the greatest gift in life, at 1 hour lying in the dirt, deciding whether to go for another red point or, have a cup of tea. It's just beautiful. I'd give up an hour of my time just to lie in the dirt and do not very much. And that's kind of...
There's an hour in the dirt.
Yeah. Yeah. Tell me something better than that.
I have no idea, really. Like, there's plenty of things I would be able to do, but I mean, lately I've been just mainly spending endless hours on the internet. Like, I mean, I think that's new school. I'm going with a trend here. I think it's normal to be like online, but I don't know if I like it or not, to be honest.
No, it's okay, isn't it? You choose to do it, don't you? What do you do when you're online? Looking at climbing videos or doing some sort of saving the planet type stuff?
Just looking at like fingerboard training stuff, and then imagine myself like being as strong as other people like Alex and stuff. That's my style, really. I like the idea of being strong.
Right. So your idea of a good way to spend an hour is to look at dead hanging videos, right? Okay. I'd recommend spending some more time in the dirt.
Yeah, I will take that as an advice. I might just get hooked on the video again. Like there's this really good recovery training stuff. The Swedish people, like the Scandinavians, they're really good with hanging, and then you hang, and then you get really like you regenerate a lot faster, which I think is a good thing in our age.
Right? Yeah. Regeneration.
Yeah, and I'm actually picking up as soon as I talk to an Irishman, I become like, my tongue turns into bloody, to a Guinness factory. It's a nightmare, really.
Right, okay. In what way? What do you mean?
Well, because I spend a lot of time over there and I really love it. And I miss it sometimes, I miss the coast, I miss Donegal, I miss the ocean.
Oh, I love Donegal. Donegal's my home. Did you really? Donegal's my heartland.
I know, you're a Derry boy,
Yeah.
I know, Jesus Christ. And let's talk about Donegal then, first of all. I mean, first of all, I would like to introduce my guest. I mean, that's good manners. We're already 4 minutes in, and, it's Niall Grimes, originally born out of like a golden cow on the fields in Donegal, like 1968, and then immigrated to the east, because I don't know if you like the troubles or not, but we can talk about this later. But yeah, Donegal, tell me about Derry. Tell me about growing up in Derry.
So first of all, when I was 16, 18, I got away from it. I just wanted to get away from it. But I consider having grown up there to be one of my life's great privileges. And to see, I mean, I guess everyone's home life is always crazy, but Derry seemed crazy. There was lots of violence and just hatred, tension, fun, vibrancy, life everywhere. It was kind of interesting, but yeah, ultimately couldn't really get away from it.
Was there any rules? I mean, there were rules, but I mean, how was it? Have you
There was
seen it?
definitely rules, it's sort of the rules. You don't go there, you don't say that, you don't ask this, those sort of rules, like societal rules, very strong societal rules, and very small, culturally very, very tight knit. So that's its own form of rules. Rules are laws, but rules are often culturally defined. So they were very strong culturally defined rules. I grew up in Catholicism. That's going to be full of rules. School, I guess school is always rules. Yeah.
The move to Sheffield was that an attempt to get away from rules?
Well, just the place there, they seem really small. I mean, your little local place is quite small, isn't it? You want to, and hard to find yourself. I grew up in Derry. When I moved to Sheffield via climbing, so there's whole childhood climbing, then moved to Sheffield for climbing, and those 3 stages, basically climbing allowed a chance to meet a completely different group of people and to be something different than the thing you'd always been constrained to being, to decide who you wanted to be. And that was what climbing did. And when I eventually got to Sheffield, there were just so many cool people and so many cool scenes. You could find the people you were right for. Yeah, very liberating, really liberating.
I mean, it sounds like it, and I guess it was a big change as well because I mean, okay, Derry was how big's Derry? I mean, like how many people just about?
100,000 people. I used to spend some time in Regensburg. Do you know Regensburg? Is that about the same
Yeah, no,
size?
Regensburg, yeah,
Yeah,
Regensburg. I know.
yeah. With Lars and Hefi and those guys. And so I think it's about the same. It feels about the same size as Regensburg. And kind of similar
Was that
vibe.
after or before Regensburg?
You mean like
Oh, that was after.
after? What do you mean after?
Well, what did you mean? You asked, was that after? You didn't say after what, so I just said after.
After. When did you go to Regensburg, man?
I just picked. Oh, that was after.
After? What do you mean after?
Well, what did you mean? You asked, was that after?
After
You didn't say after what, so I just said after. I just picked.
Yes. Yeah, it's really good. I mean, if you had any choice, if someone would say to you, like, I give you a bag of money and you could just fly away anywhere in the world, you could just climb and chill out or lay on the ground for an hour or many hours, where would you go, really?
Right, I'd go to Buchs. I'd go to Buchs tomorrow. I'd go to Buchs because it holds such cherished memories for me. It's just I spent a lot of time there in my youth. I went back there years ago, and I almost cried when I saw the sun set on those golden yellow walls. And towards the end of the day, having had an amazing day. My friend Tom is there at the minute. He's going, Grimer. They've opened up 300 new routes further up the valley. It's like it was in 1986. The routes are amazing. They're well bolted. They're not polished. And I just so desperate to go back there now and see all these amazing new climbs. And I know I'll go back to the old Buchs and it'll just be sort of really like Stony Middleton, won't it? Just terrifyingly slippery, polished stuff. But the place itself is just so beautiful. The French, I love France. I love the French lifestyle. I love French culture. I love the French weather. I love to walk around Apt. I'd love to be up in that valley with Tom on site in Sevens. That's where I'd love to be now. In the sunshine on a cold November sunny day.
What a beautiful thought.
Fucking just locking pockets.
Tell me about your the weather in the UK the last few weeks. I mean, like, you can just tell me about the weather. I mean, I've seen you've been out bouldering or watching people try to climb like boulders with a rope. I mean, on the roaches, I think. Was that on the roaches? The stuff you posted lately.
That was Robin Hood Stride. It was in Robin Hood Stride. So the highlight of my climbing the last few weeks was I was out on a beautiful autumn day, kind of half looking for mushrooms, but went along the Gardam's Edge. And having had this discussion with somebody recently about suffering and climbing, how good climbers can suffer a lot. And I was thinking about that, and I realized maybe my climbing I've been sort of shying away from struggle a bit, taking it too easy. And I was there with her, and we did a couple of E1s, she did a VS, and there's an E3 there, E35C. People might not. E3 is a sort of mid-grade trad route. E35C tells you it might be a bit dangerous, called Waterloo Sunset.
What would that be in a sport, a French sport grade?
That's like saying how much is 16 euros in sugar. It's just there's no point.
I mean, okay, the technical climbing. I mean, obviously not the psychological aspect, but I mean, like,
okay, so the only way you could do it is it's probably like if you give the real font grade, it's probably like a font 6A plus, but if you fall off it, you'll hit the ground from 6 to 7 meters. So maybe even easier than font 6, maybe 5, maybe it's a 5 plus, but because you're going to hit. So there's this funny thing about bold, rounded climbing, which is the first E3 I've done in 15 years. I think I thought about not doing it, then I thought, no, push yourself, get uncomfortable, so get on it, and you're kind of looking at a ground fall on a beautiful sunny autumn day, just beautiful. But I remember thinking, no, just keep going, keep pushing, and so saying it is only a font 5 or a plus 5 plus or a 6, but with these insecure climbs, you've got to have so much more control over it than the grade. So if it's a 5 plus, you have to do it in a 6B way because you can't afford. That's the test. You can't. It's just you could do it without that level of control, but then it's just reckless. So in order to do it in a way that's not reckless, you've got to do it in a font 6A, 6B way. So it's like a font 6B that you'll hit the ground, a bad landing from 6 meters, 7 meters. And it's one of those things where in your youth, you'd say, oh, you wouldn't die, you'd only break your legs. But imagine breaking your legs. I've never broken my legs. I don't, when I think of breaking my legs, I don't think the word only belongs in front of it. I think the word, that's not an only situation, is it?
No, not really. I mean, like, bottom line, it's like you don't want to break anything really. It's just going to take a while. It's going to take a while to heal. I mean, but Jesus, I mean, like, do you think there is a future in trad climbing? Because sport climbing has become so big. No, in general, like, because mainstream, I think sport climbing is like the new bouldering, especially all the sport and bouldering is the new thing.
Well, trad climbing is still a big thing it's still a big thing in the UK. In the lower levels, when you get hard, trad climbing has become this really obscure little thing. It really doesn't matter much anymore. Like sort of E11, E12, it's just no one really cares about that stuff apart from a handful of people, and it's just become its own. As it's moved towards a marketing thing, it's become there's no continuum between most people's trad climbing and what Dave McLeod does up in some mossy valley in Scotland. There's no. So anyway, in answer to your question, trad climbing is very popular in Britain. It's really popular still, but mostly in the lower grades where people just go and enjoy it. This sort of the hard grit thing. Did you see hard grit? All that stuff was kind of on the cusp of when it became just. What did it become? It was popular for a while, and then it's died off. That sort of gritstone head pointing's died off a lot now. It's quite rare.
What do you think makes a good podcast?
So as an interviewer or as a listener?
In general, I think as a listener, because realistically, I think the most important thing is that, people are going to actually enjoy it and they can listen to it. I mean, I don't care how many people there are, but if 1 or 2 or 5 people will enjoy it, I've done a good job, so.
Soul.
Oh, yeah. It's the soul.
Soul.
You didn't get it. It was the Irish soul.
Yeah.
It needs to be soulful, authentic, soulful, and real.
Yeah.
Yeah, I totally get that.
Yeah. Yeah, soul, like music and art, anything. Podcasts, people with soul. I love listening to people with soul.
That's a really nice thing as well. Have you done you've done more than 150 now, I think.
I think, I just put out one. It was in the 160s, the 160s. Yeah.
160s, and I mean, Jesus Christ, like that's a lot. I mean, are you gonna do a DVD set once? Or are you gonna like put it like? Are they all online to he listen to, or
And, and I'm going to bring them out on LP. We produce some vinyl
you're
LPs
gonna
of them.
press them? You're
Like a
gonna
sort
press
of,
like both sides. So the first one would be like first part, and the second on the other
yeah,
side.
yeah, yeah. No, I mean, the idea is sort of imagine you had an album like 10 tracks, like sort of pick some really good 3 or 4 minute
Yeah,
sections and put
yeah.
five on each side, like sort of really five really funny stories on each side and sell it as an LP.
I think you're on to a winner, man. I think
Wouldn't that be really
yes,
funny?
and you already have the stickers. If you get the stickers round, you can just press the stickers in the middle. Like,
Exactly. Yeah, 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 yeah,
I mean, the merch
yeah.
is getting.
Imagine it charted.
Imagine what?
It charts.
Ah, it's charts
I'm on
like
top of the pops. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
like
yeah. It does
crime
really well. Chris,
123
Chris,
talking to I don't know, Molly Thompson, like going crazy. Like it's like
Christmas #1.
years ago.
Yeah, I've done 160 podcasts. Been doing it for nearly 10 years, 9 years, I think about 9 years or so. And I go through waves of being interested, keen and less keen. I'm currently in a keen phase. If my interest wavers, I let myself take the foot off the gas for a while. I don't do it. I don't have a strict schedule.
Yeah,
Uh, I aim for one every 2 weeks, and if it doesn't do that, I don't mind. That's fine.
I get
So,
that.
160 over 9 years.
That's amazing. I mean,
Yeah,
like you should get a medal, are they going to benight you eventually? Like, I mean, the queen is gone now. Like, I mean, there's other people
I
now
guess
that can give
so.
you
Yeah, yeah,
the shaboozle.
yeah, yeah, yeah. That or beheaded, maybe beheaded. What was your first season of podcast with like Paul Pritch with Pete Whitaker? Who else? That was those live video ones, and now you're doing another series, and you want to sort of get into just interpersonal chats and on this series. Do you make it different, or just to see where it goes?
I have no really preference yet because I think I'm just going to start. My only preference was that I got away from the live thing because like it was fun. Don't get me wrong, but I was kind of
Mm,
I was distracted by the burden of having to manage all the technicalities of it, because the problem really was that
right on.
I can just explain it. When I was podcasting in Corona, I was podcasting out of a shed, like 50 to 70 meters away from the Wi-Fi, and I had to set up a steady Wi-Fi
Mm,
system. And I was setting up everything. I carried my computer there. I had because I wanted to be not in the house. I felt like this was not the right space. So it was quite a lot of work, so to speak. And the issue at the end was just
yeah.
I couldn't keep up with it really because I didn't like the fact that I was getting distracted talking to the person whilst having to click around and making sure everything is fine, because sometimes there were delays and there were issues, with the sound, or then my phone or my camera switched off, so it was quite tricky in a way, because I didn't have a second person to do the
Mm.
technicalities of it, so. And obviously I'm.
It's tough, isn't it? Well, even as a normal podcaster, you're producer, you're the writer, and then you come into a situation and you got to not transmit stress because you're there to put the guest at ease, but you're thinking about lots of things, aren't you? Whether that's plugged in, are those batteries going to last? Is this coming through loud and clear? Is the camera? All that shit. It's really hard, isn't it? Because your mind's really occupied with it, as well as trying to think of the questions.
Yeah, usually I write down a few questions, but I never ask them, because I think sometimes, there's no point being pre-planned and being stuck in a box. But I totally agree. It's a nightmare when you
Yeah,
end up having that stress, or sometimes it's tricky because, in a way, exactly the battery might be off in 10 minutes, and you're having this really nice conversation with the person, and exactly there will be a point when this kind of stream of change will stop. It will just
yeah,
stop, and then you have to kind of
yeah,
make it up. Um, but I mean, I guess
yeah.
that's normal life as well. You just have to get used to it. But I agree on the fact that it's tricky when you have to be kind of cool outside, but internally you're already working on the next step and the next step, and you kind of want to, because you want to
Mm.
do a good job. I just realized, Steve, no, Who invited me? I think it was Steve McClure. Like invited me like to the Christmas thing. When is it? Like when's that Christmas thing in Sheffield?
December 7th.
Is that all every year with the music? It is, isn't it? And who's
Yeah,
usually
with the boom, boom, boom music.
exactly with the boom boom?
Oh, there'll be salmon.
And what's that like?
Sam and Gus. Sam and Gus. It's really brilliant. It's brilliant. It's the big party in Sheffield every year. The Works Party put it on. It's kind of either free or really cheap. It's sort of based around boom 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 techno, where they take the bass out for 4 beats and bring the bass in back in, and everyone goes cheers. People are nearly all, that's the big night. People all go and get off their heads for in the year. If they get off their heads once a year, it'll be at the Works Party.
Wow.
And the one that started after the what's it called, Corona, it was like being in Gomorrah. Amazing.
Yeah,
I was looking at it, just like a pit of writhing, a pit of writhing snakes, man. That's what it was. It's like, Jesus Christ! If Jesus sees this, we're fucked.
It just
You've disappeared,
yeah, exactly.
Wolfie.
My battery just went out as we talked. So it was.
A year said, right?
Oh, I got a spare battery. I just have to sort it out, mate. Everything's fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's
the Works Party then.
That's the Works Party. Yeah. It's really good, and all the sort of kids come out.
I am back again. Yeah, listen. You know what the good thing is? That actually the first ever interview I did, with Pete Whittaker was the same thing. The camera went off, so I'm on a good. There is some cyclic law happening here right now, and I think I'm on a winning streak now.
Right. Okay.
Something's
Yeah.
like in the ether, which is going to give me that feeling. Like I think it was either the Works dancing.
Things are just getting good. Things are getting good.
Just either getting boogie or getting booty or getting boom boom or getting like a new battery. So one of these four.
It's all good, isn't it?
And have you ever played live music there on this gathering of the mad and the displaced?
Yes.
And you like it?
Yes, I have. Yeah. If I've sometimes done the warm-up slots, which aren't so good, but I've sort of played later slots too. That's really, the later slots are very good. I'm playing up in Kendal in a couple of weeks' time. I'm playing a good set up in Kendal, and my co-DJ is Dave Graham.
You're kidding me. So I better kick out this
I
podcast.
shit you not.
I can't believe you just gave me some intel, which is amazing. The name of the podcast will be like Niall Grimes will be DJing with Dave Graham on this show.
At least I think
release.
I mean, Dave. That's the plan. Dave's not famous for getting back to messages.
I guess the problem will be
as I understand, that's the plan.
He might get busy. He might be too busy looking for crystals. That might be the only issue, where he might just get stuck in a search of the infinite prize.
Yeah.
And then he might just not.
The energy might just
lead him.
Yeah.
Lead him astray to a place of.
Yeah.
A crystal place.
I'm so psyched. I've always loved Dave Graham's energy. I've never met him. I'm really buzzing about getting a chance to play some music with him.
Be amazing, and the good thing will be he's like a Duracell bunny. He's not going to stop that guy. I mean, how are you going to stop this guy?
No, he's the late night shift.
I think they have to lock him up and put him away, in this vault, in this really just tie him up with climbing holds, and then get I don't know, Johnny Dawes and Redhead around just to guard him, to kind of not come out of the cave, of the bad way. That's really nice. I'm glad.
Well, if no one's there, this is me. What do you think of Wolf? I guess you guys are all Wolf's fans and followers. Cool guy. Never spoke to him before, apart from online. Quite a bit. Nice to chat to him. Wonder where he is. He's in, somewhere in Germany. I'm over here in Sheffield.
I'm back again.
Disappear.
Sorry.
He's back.
I have no idea what happened.
He's back again. What happened?
It's just the internet.
Oh my God. We went behind the moon.
You know what? I was worried about. Everything is lost. Everything. All what we done. All the recording, everything has just disappeared in the internet. So what do you think about Saxony, the Elbsandsteingebirge?
Jesus, Saxony's a nightmare, isn't it? Saxony's a nightmare, Wolf. It just wants to kill you. It just feels like I'm here to kill you.
Yeah, it's out of the
That place feels
world. I
like.
mean, for me, it's the nicest place from landscape-wise in Europe. I think you can. I mean, special, but sandstone towers. I mean, also Adlersbach in the Czech Republic. But realistically, it's just gorgeous to go and just even hike. You don't have to climb there. You just hike, man. Like it's so
Yeah,
pretty. And I'm so glad we have these places. But
yeah.
obviously, it's never gotten the attention like the sport climbing, the Frankenjura. Like Elbsandsteingebirge for me is way much more intimidating, way much more hardcore. But of course, it hasn't got that many 9As. It's just got this taste of
No,
blood, on the walls, where you just know exactly. And a lot of people
yeah.
actually don't lead climb there. It's like sometimes groups go, or mostly groups go. One person sets up, goes to the top of the tower, and then just people come up. They just follow on top rope. It's so nice because it takes away this like leading bravado, and all that shaboozle.
I know, I know. What you mean to say they're enjoying themselves?
Yes, they are.
Shit,
I
shit.
know your Brits are doing something absolutely wrong. They are top roping. They're having fun.
They're enjoying
I mean, the
themselves. Wow.
Frenchies had to teach you this. You know exactly how it was.
When I went to Saxony, the guidebooks are so shit. The guidebooks are so shit in Saxony. At least whenever I went there, there's just no information in them at all. Yeah. So it pissed me off because you just couldn't have a good time. I was really looking forward to going there. Just I'm never going back there again. With abbreviations, they're written in abbreviations. It's written in abbreviations. The guidebook was written in German abbreviations. Like, there's never a full word. There's always like half
Because we don't
words.
want Brits there. We don't want
Fucking
Chinese
hell!
there.
It's
We
like
don't want
the
anybody
people
there. We
never.
just want us to climb there.
Mission accomplished. Mission accomplished.
Like
It
it
works.
works. You just do a guidebook in German. That's it. Like with abbreviations, and that's it. It's
Exactly as it was. Yeah, 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 yeah.
It's like you go to a Chinese
So
place, and they just write the first five letters of the dish, every word, and you just go like, "Can I have the charcoal potato? Ha ha! Oh yeah, you want the duck? Yes, I want the duck. Give me the duck. I want to climb it." My God.
we met this funny guy called. Sorry, we met a guy called Mike. We met a guy called Mike who does a calendar. He told us about it, but he didn't show us around much.
But did you buy the calendar?
Sorry, what were you saying?
But did you buy the calendar?
No, he sent me one over in a year or two later. He put some of my writing in his calendar,
That's really nice. That's
and he
really
sent me a couple of
nice.
copies over. It's
Did
nice
you
of him.
read? Did you manage to
Yeah,
read the calendar though? At
yeah.
least.
It was in German. No, at least there wasn't abbreviations, but it was yeah, nice pictures. Nice pictures.
Yeah. So you stayed with him. Did you stay with him, in Schmilka?
No, we stayed up and we were staying in the Czech. We stayed in the Czech Republic.
But would you go? Would you
Went
go
down
to
for days.
Adlersbach, or would you go back to Adlersbach? Have you ever been there?
I've been there touristing.
Climbing?
I think it looks far too scary. It just looks a bit too scary.
Johnny was there. Johnny was there
I think.
literally this year to do a presentation. Yeah,
Was
they
he?
have a beautiful
Yeah.
climbing festival actually every year, it's actually awesome. I mean, if you want to buy gear, that's fine, but the climbing festival in Adlersbach every year is fantastic. Enjoy the two parties you're going to be participating in and actually DJing, and I hope you're going to have a great night with the Big G.
Oh yeah, amazing, amazing. I'm super psyched. Yeah. It's you think, because I've been buying some music for it. You think, fuck, I can't believe in 2 weeks I'm going to press play on this tune. And it's going to melt people's minds. This tune is so amazing. It's going to melt fucking people's minds, and it's so exciting. And you think you get to do that? Yeah, yeah.